In the last episode, we talked about why speaking up matters, why silence isn't neutral, why caring sometimes requires discomfort, and why staying quiet to preserve the status quo hasn't worked. But today's episode is different because it's one thing to say, we need to speak up. It's another thing to answer the question everybody is really asking, and that is, what does effective advocacy actually look like? And we begin our podcast right there.
Welcome, all of you fantastic dental podcast listeners, to the My Practice, My Business Dental Podcast Show, where we help dentists profit and thrive with excerpts from the clinical business of dentistry training here at My Practice, My Business. We'll be addressing and answering questions with current trends dentists and their teams face each and every day in their pursuit of this wonderful career we call dentistry. And now the host of our show, the clinical director and president at My Practice, My Business, Dr. Rob Thorup.
I'm joined again today with my sweetheart, Tracy. Say hi.
Hello there.
Make sure, I have to have her say hi to make sure I've got her mic level up perfectly.
It's up.
So she's not yelling in the mic like I do. Honey, what does effective advocacy actually look like?
Ooh, I'm going to tell you what it's not.
I'm going to sip my Diet Coke and sit back while you tell me what it looks like or what it doesn't.
It is not performative advocacy.
What does that mean?
When you're performing in front of everybody, talking about how you care and you represent people, but you're not really doing anything, or when you do a press release talking about how much you care and how you advocate for people, this is not advocacy that exists on paper, but disappears when things get hard, which is unfortunately what we see a lot with people who claim to be advocates. Real advocacy is the kind that protects people. It changes behavior and it earns trust.
Okay.
Everybody who knows me knows trust is big with me.
I just have to stop right there. So it protects people like the laws that we've been passing in the state of Utah, and now other states are starting to pass.
Yeah.
So that protects the dentists and the patients they serve, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But what about behavioral changes? Does that mean they actually have to implement the laws and stop having their ideologies of what they think the dental business should look like as they run it, right?
It's that paradigm shift that I talk about a lot.
Gotcha. And then earning trust. It's like, I think the dentists that we work with multi-statewide, I hope, but I know that we have earned their trust because
Absolutely.
we have defended them, we have trained them, we have advocated for them.
And when things get hard for them, we don't run away. We make sure that they have somebody who has their back.
And I love that this episode's not about tearing anything down. It's about building something, better than what we found it. It's kind of like a, Boy Scout campsite motto.
Yeah.
Like, leave the campsite better than you found it.
So
that's not the motto. I know that's not the motto, people, but it's the outdoor code.
I think that advocacy needs to be defined. We need to start with a definition because that's usually where things go wrong. Effective advocacy is not about proximity to power. It's not about titles, which we talk about a lot in our podcasts. It's not about being invited into the room because you can be a wallflower. If you're in the room and you're not doing or saying anything, it's not going to work.
Wallflower.
A wallflower.
A lotus blossom fluctuantly, frolically floating in the frills of life.
Exactly. They're pretty.
So I tell all my patients I'm that gentle and I'm giving them an injection.
Exactly. Makes
them laugh and they forget about the injection.
Effective advocacy is really measured by outcomes. So do your members feel protected? Do they feel heard? Do they receive timely, accurate guidance when they're under pressure?
When they make a phone call to you.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
So if the answer is no, then advocacy is failing, regardless of how impressive the organizational chart may look.
Well, advocacy does not mean avoiding conflict, though.
No, not at all.
I mean, sometimes you have to, we play good cop, bad cop all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes it requires some conflict. It means being willing to engage in it. And on behalf of the dentists that we represent, the patients that we serve, sometimes, I won't say that we get angry. I would say, okay, we do get angry, but it's controlled anger sometimes. And that requires structure and courage and accountability, being accountable to everybody. And one of the biggest failures in professional advocacy today is I believe, is accessibility. There, too many dentists don't even know where to go when there's a problem. They don't know who handles payer disputes, who responds to billing interpretation issues, and who escalates concerns when insurance is overreached. How many dentists in the state of Utah know that they can complain to the state insurance commission? Number one. Number two, how many fear,
they fear retaliation if they do it.
If they engage in a complaint against a third party payer, which they don't. There is no retaliation. No. How many other states have a state insurance commission that's active, like ours is? And we've found that some states don't even have one.
They don't. And if they do have one, they usually are not versed in dental law. They're focused a lot on health insurance or medical law.
They don't understand dental.
And all they do is they reach out to the insurance company, and the insurance company will wordsmith something that sounds good, and then
they reach out to the dental insurance company
to clarify
the dispute,
which we've seen happen, unfortunately, with some of these insurance commissioner. But the bottom line with effective advocacy is you need to know and when you should follow these certain pathways. You have to have clear pathways. There should be a clearly defined department for payer disputes, a documented process for submitting concerns, timelines for responses, and accountability when responses don't happen.
So advocacy can't depend on who you know or how loud you become in the complaint, right?
Well,
You've got...
I know they say that the loudest voices are heard, but it's really frustrating when somebody is screaming nonstop, but when you actually want them to do something about it, they don't do anything, It
becomes inequitable.
Oh, absolutely.
And inequitable advocacy is not advocacy at all, right?
Yeah.
Timing matters. And a response 6 months later, that's not advocacy. They're just documenting the crap that they do. Mm-hmm. So dentists and teams are dealing with real-time consequences. We have to. Audits. Like if we get an audit, we have to respond in so many days to the insurance company's audit. And recoupments, which we passed a law.
Yeah, effective actually today.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Mm-hmm. So just so everybody knows, I'm making my sweetheart do record podcasts. We'll record 2 to 3 to 4 of them a day. And it is January 1, 2026.
And officially, the insurance company cannot automatically recoup a payment from a provider without giving them a letter with 60-day notice that they want their money back. And that's going to really help with, number one, giving you the ability to fight back if it's not true. Or secondly, making sure that recoupment or that refund is directly pulled from a patient and not some random patient that they tend to do with automatic recoupment. So it's super cool.
Honey, how many states have legislation like that we're aware of?
I don't think they do. So nationally, I know MetLife was doing some weird stuff and the American Dental Association gave them a letter.
Right. I remember that.
They said that they would stop it, but we're still seeing that it's still happening. But I don't think legally there is any other law. So Utah, again,
is leading the way
to pass another law.
So all of you in other states, will you please reach out to us or look on our state statutes over the last 5 years and see the dental laws we're passing. Again, hats off to Tennessee for copying our House Bill 359. But again, one of the shortfalls that we see in the associations is that laws will be passed, but the application of those laws are not understood, let alone how to implement them. So,
well, and this is where I would encourage the American Dental Association to reach out and ask us what our cool laws are so they can put them in published documents so everybody knows about them. That's an idea.
I think one of our executive team members at the UDA is trying to do that with the ADA right now, because there's one state in particular with their executive director that loves to have his name in the spotlight of passing pseudo-stratified laws of, nothing compared to what we've done here in Utah.
And sorry, you guys have caught me on a really weird mood right now, but it's frustrating when the only mention of Utah legislation was on virtual credit cards. We passed that law like 4 years ago. There was an update to virtual credit cards that we put into law this year or 2025, but there were 3 other laws that were amazing that we passed. Not a peep.
4. I'm counting right now. 4.
Well, there was 4.
Wait, 4 total since we've been
4.
doing this. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There will be 12 bills that we will have introduced that have turned into laws by the time this year is over, that we have been the key instruments in having passed, because we've written them. The majority of them, like 90%
introduced
of them,
and fought for, and these 2026. If the ADA does not say something about these laws, I'm probably
not going to be an ADA member.
That's crazy.
I won't pay my dues anymore.
Okay, sorry, we digress.
Yeah, so dentists and teams are dealing with real-time consequences: audits, recoupments, threatening letters, contract pressure. When a provider reaches out for help, they're often already under stress. And effective advocacy means rapid triage.
Oh, yeah.
I love that word, triage. I use it all the time. And clear next steps. What are the next steps to do?
And honest answers.
Even when the answer is uncomfortable.
But at least answer.
God, silence is not neutral. Silence communicates abandonment. Being silent is making a stance of being ineffective. Mm-hmm. And abandonment destroys trust faster than almost anything. So advocacy has to be informed. That means understanding how CDT codes are actually applied, how insurers reinterpret language, and how state laws interact with contracts, and where legal authority begins and ends. One of the most damaging things that associations can do is offer vague or overly cautious guidance that leaves providers exposed. I call it exposed. If guidance is unclear, providers will either freeze under bill or turn to unqualified voices online. And that's what we see all the time.
All the time. And consistency matters too. If one provider gets one answer and another gets a different, the confidence is going to collapse. And so being effective with advocacy means making sure that your guidance is standardized. You're transparent with your reasoning behind things. You can't just say, this is the way it is. No, show me scripture and verse, right, of where you came up with this, because I need to see it in writing. You can't just randomly give me something. Willingness to update positions publicly when things change. This happens with us. We might have a way of teaching that in 2026 changes when we have new information, or when laws change, or when policies change. And it's okay to be able to do that. You need to be confident enough to say, this worked before, now we need to change it.
And you know what? It's okay to change. People expect that. And when things change and they see us change with the flow of times, then trust will grow. And that's critical. Dentistry doesn't function with dentists alone. You've got office managers, you've got billers, you've got front office team members, back office team members, front lines of compliance, communication, enforcement, all these things.
But that's where they're excluded from these advocacy structures. At the ADA, there is no group that represents us.
There's only online pseudo-stratified experts, false experts, and that's a mistake.
Yep.
Effective advocacy has to educate all the team members and give them access to accurate resources, and provide them with a voice without fear or retaliation. Because when teams feel unsupported, that's when misinformation spreads, because then they're trying to, voice an opinion on something instead of saying, hey, I really don't know. And then they say, well, go to the ADA. And then the ADA doesn't speak up, and you signed a contract, or we don't have an answer to that, or that's a legal question, go counsel an attorney. It's like, no, give us your opinion, ADA. You're supposed to be the source of all knowledge. You're the wizard of dental laws. So when information spreads, compliance suffers that misinformation.
Yeah, because an association that claims to protect dentistry, but then ignores the people who implement dentistry every day, is failing structurally. It's hard to say out loud. Providers are afraid to speak out because they don't feel protected. And that fear is rational, in my opinion.
It's not irrational, for sure. No. Effective advocacy means standing between members and retaliation. It means challenging any overreach by insurance companies, by people voicing opinions that may not be accurate, pushing back on intimidation, creating that safety in numbers, that safety net. You can't ask people to speak up if the cost of speaking up is isolation.
Yep. And protection. That really is the foundation, because with that protection, dentists and their team members now have courage that they can, pull from within themselves and really stand their ground.
Without that protection, silence turns into self-preservation, right?
Absolutely.
So last note, I think effective advocacy requires honest leadership evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they have to, every organization has to ask itself, who is effective? Who is inactive? And who is there for that title or who is there for work?
Well, here's one is I don't think that leadership's all about longevity. We have not just, people in associations, but CEOs of dental insurance companies. I've been here for 28 years. Maybe it's time for a leadership change. Just because you've been there forever does not mean you're the right person for the job. So it's not about longevity, it's about impact.
Sometimes you're saying sometimes advocacy requires restructuring in the leadership positions?
Go figure, huh?
Oh, okay. It might require a new department.
Yeah.
It might, maybe an office manager department within the state association.
And I do believe 100% that it could require removing ineffective leadership. You're not doing your job. It's fine. Maybe you're better in a different position or outside of the community.
And it's not betraying your leaders.
No.
It's actually stewardship. It's actually being stewards of the people that are paying dues, of the people that are looking for leadership in those areas.
When you feel that somebody's protecting and advocating for you, you can support them in return.
That's right. It's not it's not being loud for the sake of being loud. Like some people beat their chest and like to speak loudly. It's steady, it's informed, it's being responsive to questions and finding answers, which is being proactive, right?
And protective.
Yeah, dentists, and we don't want perfection. We just want representation. And it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to say, I think this is the answer. Run with it until I call you back and find out something. How many times does the Utah Dental Association refer dentists and their team members to us for answers?
And I appreciate that because, instead of giving a random response, I love the fact that they say, you know what, these guys might be able to help you. And guess what? If I don't know something or you don't know something, we usually will say, guess what?
We don't know. But we will
find an answer for you.
We will find the answer. And maybe the answer isn't the answer we're looking for, but it will be the answer. And again, we don't want perfection. We want representation. Even our medical malpractice insurance carrier here in Utah refers practices to us to answer questions that they can't answer when it comes to third-party payers.
And dentists want someone, on your point, that you're right. If something goes wrong, someone's going to answer, that somebody cares. And somebody's going to stand with them, because it's a scary position sometimes when you think that it's just you against a larger entity.
And we're talking about associations here, but this dribbles right down into the office with 3 employees. It's not... These business principles aren't just for large organizations. They're for all of us.
Well, and I really feel that the future of dentistry depends on this.
Not sticking up for the status quo, not living by the status quo.
Earning trust. Trust is huge with me.
Yeah. It's not about power. It's about being responsible. And responsibility means doing hard work, getting in the trenches and fighting the fight, and especially when it's uncomfortable. And that's what I can honestly say that I've seen my sweetheart do day in and day out for the dentists, not just in the state of Utah, but surrounding states and all across the nation. It's really been interesting over the last couple of years, sweetheart, to see what you and a little bit of I have accomplished in the field of insurance reform legislation.
Yep.
And not taking no for an answer, not taking, you signed a contract, there's nothing we can do for an answer.
And that's where it's been fun, is how many times you sit back and say, well, I signed a contract. There's nothing that can be done. There's always something that can be done.
You can actually be profitable on PPO plans if you understand the insurance contracts and the state laws. You can get your procedures up to your fee-for-service fees and get your fee-for-service fees actually up to a profitable, respectful profitability, I want to say, because most offices set their fees based on fee surveys. They don't set them on how MBAs would set them, on the burn rate plus the corporate profitability. They don't understand that, and that's one of the things that we teach on in our trainings. Mm-hmm. And boy, when the eyes bug wide open when all the team members that come through our training, when they see that for the first time, they're like, "Holy crap! I had no idea our fees were that bad."
It's usually a couple of them that usually finish with that.
Yeah.
And stop depending on surveys. Please stop depending on surveys.
We want effective advocacy. And at My Practice, My Business, the state insurance commissioner for the state of Utah said, you guys really aren't consultants. You're more like advocates because you do so much for the dentists that you serve. And we're grateful to be able to serve you. It's truly an honor. Thanks so much for listening, and we hope you have a great day and a good start to your new year. Take care.
Thank you for being with us today. Since 2006, My Practice, My Business has been teaching dentists and their teams business skills, dental insurance contractual protocols, and state laws governing how to profitably bill patients fairly for the need-based services they provide. What's more, we guarantee our training, unlike other dental consulting companies in the industry. Simply stated, if you don't increase your net revenue, we don't get paid. We call it dental consulting the way it should be. We believe there has never been a more important time than now for dentists to experience and implement our key methods, knowledge, and business training within their dental practices. To learn more about our guaranteed, no-risk clinical business of dentistry training that is changing dental practices for the better, just go to our website, mypracticemybusiness.com, and surf our pages for additional information about our company and the services we provide. When you're ready, give us a call and get scheduled for the most profitable dental business training that you will ever experience. If you enjoyed our podcast, please leave us a 5-star review. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call us. Thank you again and have a fantastic day.